and welcome back to BehatiLife YouTube channel. If you're meeting for the first time, welcome, and for those of you that are old friends and family, welcome back. As you guys can tell, we have a pick a card reading, which I'm so here for. I am 1000% feeling the energy of tomorrow's full moon in Taurus. I'm so excited. You guys know I typically have a video breaking down the astrological influence of the full moon. However, this time for this season, I'm just going to take a break and savor it and enjoy. So that was kind of leading into my enthusiasm and my excitement to come on here and shuffle cards and connect with you guys in this way. So the reason why I'm saying this is because although this reading is timeless, I am under the influence of the full moon right now and wanted to fold that up into our reading today. So we have 3 different messages to choose from. You can take this as what you need to hear for the time frame around the full moon in Taurus. However, this reading, like I said, is timeless. And I do have a new set of oracle decks that I'm going to be shuffling and working with. I haven't shuffled and pulled them yet because I'm going to be shuffling and pulling them live. You'll see that. Every card that I'm working with, every deck that I'm working with, I'll link it down below. All right, so let's not waste any more time and let's go ahead and dive right in. Messages that we need to hear right. All right, my loves, if you chose the third group of cards, this is your message, this is your reading. The decks that I'm working with will be linked down below in the description. And if you would like to receive more exclusive readings kind of similar to this one, Behati Love Notes is there for you, and that will be linked down below as well. It's pretty much like my own Patreon. Let me go ahead and focus on you, though. 5 of Swords. What do you need to hear? Or be made aware of. Also, what can't you see? I don't know why I want to ask that question as well. Okay, I'm going to put these ones off to the side. I'm going to tuck them in my little pumpkin. And then let's go ahead and see what you need to hear first. Ooh, okay, 5 of Swords, 9 of Wands reversed. Someone here needs to, you're going to be comforted by this message. And so that's what Spirit wants to give you, is a sense of comfort. Like recognize something for you so that you can find more comfort. Wow. 6 of Pentacles reversed. 5 of Cups. Interesting. 6 of Cups reversed. The High Priestess. The Hermit card. And the Hangman. I was going to say this. I feel like someone is left in limbo over something. What's really standing out to me is the fact that the Hermit card is completely blindfolded. The High Priestess is not blindfolded, but she has secrets. The Hermit card doesn't know yet, but is asking the question so that they can discover. And I don't know if you guys are sensing this, but those 3 cards alone leave you in the dark. It's not funny. They leave you in the dark and they leave you wondering. And that's tough. Someone here wants something to close out, to complete, and it just doesn't, it's not happening fast enough. 5 of Swords is the card of negativity, where it just feels like we're not working together. Like, it feels like, it's like you question if we're on the same page, if you're on the same page with someone and like you're not. 6 of Pentacles is, okay, I've done what I was told to do. Why haven't you? Or vice versa. Something is expecting something of you. And 5 of Cups is the spirit of lack and disappointment and needing and not getting, wanting but not having. Six of Cups here reversed is showing up here, and there's this feeling of like longing. So all together now, I get this really strong sense, this really strong feeling of being left in the dark over something, being caught in the dark over something, and not knowing when it's going to happen, when it's going to shift, when it's going to show up, when is the energy going to change. And being stuck with Five of Swords is tough because it's not encouraging, to say the least. Sometimes we got to be careful, because with Five of Swords showing up, we're not our best either. Like, we may not be as supportive of ourselves as we could be. We may be doing things that sabotage our growth and our progress. We may be doing things to sabotage our health and our happiness and our peace. And we have to see that so that we can start to change it, which is interesting because I didn't even know that this reading was going to be this way. And I did shuffle and said, what do you need to see? So let's go ahead and look at these cards. Knight of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. So someone here, you may really need to slow down. You may need to really, this is like, do not pass go, do not collect $200. You may need to slow down a little bit and take care of something here. Or you may need to slow down and kind of respect divine timing or the timing of your life right now. We'll look at more in the Oracle and see what this is, because we'll get you through this. But Knight of Wands is, oh my gosh, there's a little squirrel that's just like, I don't know if you can see. He's like right over here. Look, so cute. He's busy, busy, busy. Sorry, guys. I had to show you that. It's so cute. Anyway. Knight of Wands is the card of like speed and let's go, let's move forward, but not to your detriment. Like literally, for someone here, I'm getting this really strong message that you know that there's a delay, or you know that something isn't ready or something's ill-equipped, and you may still be trying to move. You may still be trying to force something. Nine of Wands reversed too is the card of I'm not ready yet. So if that's the case, why are we still pushing forward when you know, oh my gosh, even with the Hangman here, when you know you should be waiting, or there needs to be a little bit more time? This is why you're not getting what you want. This is why it's like glass half full, half empty. This is what you need to see, is something is not ready yet. Like something is underdeveloped. Something is taking its time for a reason. Something is not a match for you. And you may not be accepting it totally. Or if you are accepting it, there's this feeling of like, wait. Like there's this feeling of like waiting until, being forced to wait really, until it is ready. And when it's ready, you'll know, because Knight of Wands, it'll come busting out, whatever it is. It's giving weird friendship dynamics. It's giving like money. You know what it reminds me of? So we just had like 2 hurricanes, the last one Milton. There was a lot of damage here, and people submitted their applications to FEMA for things that they were, I don't say promised, but things that the government was kind of promising them. And this is such an interesting metaphor, but this is how Spirit is kind of showing it to me. And everyone that like submitted their application got rejected. Their house was flooded. People lost their food. People lost a lot of things. And FEMA was supposed to come through and give, I forget how much money it was, but it's like, fill this application and we will help you. And more people got rejected than accepted. And no one understood why. And that's what is happening here in the reading. It's like knowing that you're owed something or due something, or you could use the help, or you could use the reassurance, or you're waiting for something to come through. You're waiting for a yes. And for whatever reason, it's like no. And you don't understand why. You're in the dark about why. And it's kind of like, now what? Especially with 5 of Cups and 5 of Pentacles, there's a season of loss. The other thing, too, that I want to say is when this comes to relationships, and not just romantic relationships, it could be family, it could be friends, you're wanting something from a place, or you're wanting something from someone who doesn't want to give what you need. They may prioritize other people. There's this feeling of like accepting the fact that you can't change that, but still maybe showing up and being like, well, I'm still going to try. Or getting frustrated and disappointed when you try and it's not working. But if you sat with yourself and your higher self, you would be like, well, I can see that I have to let this go. Because I'm trying to extract blood from a rock, you know? How that saying goes. There's this message too that for someone here needs to hear this. Like, it's not that you're not deserving. It's not that it's not going to happen. It just won't happen right now because it's underdeveloped, or it's not time, or this isn't the one. This isn't the thing. I want to tell you guys, if this is your situation, try not to fill the void with vices. I don't see that within the cards. I see that within my spirit. Like, try not to fill the void with vices. Things that will, create more and will create more of a delay, or create more of set you back so that you feel bad about yourself, or bad about the situation. Let's say you give up with this whatever, you give up on a relationship and you're just like, oh my God, clearly this isn't happening. Clearly this isn't working out. And then you sabotage and you eat a whole carton of ice cream. Now you regret the fact that you ate that whole thing, you know? It didn't help. It may have felt better in the middle, in while you were doing it, but then afterwards you really regret it and it doesn't contribute. It's like you took a feeling of feeling rejected and then you added to it by doing something to make you feel worse, and it didn't help. Let's look at your oracle cards and then we'll shuffle a little further. Well, I do want to say that at the bottom of your reading you do have the Ace of Pentacles. So whatever this is, it's not this situation isn't going to last forever. It's impossible for the situation to last forever. You would just need to be patient. And what is Spirit telling you? When you sit with yourself and you ask yourself, what is the truth of the situation? Okay, the truth is, I'm not going to get what I want out of this circumstance as quickly or the way that I would have wanted it to. But that doesn't mean that this is going to be this way forever, which can I find comfort within that, or am I going to sabotage myself because it's not the way that I wanted it to be? And the Ace of Pentacles is the card of promise, of something to come, of something developing, but the Ace of Pentacles is actually one of the more slower cards within the tarot when it comes to timing. And we talk about that in Sacred Circle Tarot School. So if those of you guys that are interested in learning the tarot and timing, you'll find that in there as well. The next card you have here is the Three of Swords reversed, and this has a lot to do with, something that was causing pain or causing worry or causing discomfort, it doesn't have to be so dramatic, like heartbreak or aggressive disappointment. It could just be like, it just doesn't feel like this is happening. It doesn't feel like it's, progressing. Is at the bottom of this card. And then you have King of Pentacles here reversed. Yeah. So it just feels like if it's not you worried about losing something, or you trying everything in your power to avoid an inevitable loss, you know what I mean? Then it feels like impatience. And really what you need to do is respect that whatever this is just not developed, and it's not going to show up in the way that you wanted it to, or as quickly as you wanted it to, but it will show up. Or you're locked in on something that will consistently disappoint, but like that doesn't mean that this is going to be the situation forever. This situation just seems really disappointing or lacking fruit. Like, it doesn't seem like it's going to fruit at all. That means don't try to sit and wait and force and pull or do anything to sabotage your growth, your progress, or your potential. Just because there's a loss in one area doesn't mean that there's going to be loss in all the areas. I hope that makes sense. Let's look at your oracle cards and let's see if we can get any further. Wow. Next card we have is Hickory, Release, and Let Go. So there's that. But there also could be someone here, it's like you owe it to yourself to let go. You owe it to yourself to give this thing up. It doesn't, I just want to keep saying, like, it doesn't mean that it's a total loss unless the thing is just not a match for you at all. It just means that you stop fighting and you stop stressing something to occur when it's not ready to, or the universe is preventing it for good reason, for good valid reason. I also want to say that there's things that you, like, a lot of times there's only things that we can control is like what we've got going on. And you can't control what others do. You can't control things that are outside of your control. So in the meantime, don't sabotage, don't get negative, and try to use this time constructively, wisely, or to bring enjoyment to you, or to connect to spirit and to connect with yourself a little further so you're not second guessing yourself and driving yourself crazy. Next few cards we have, the Bee. I love this card. Luck, industriousness, and sweet victory. So, yeah. The Bee is always a good totem. It's clearly one of my animal totems. But this shows success and reward. It literally says sweet victory. That is worth it. It also brings us to community and all things working out synchronistically and perfectly aligned. If you ever looked into the mystery and the magic of the bee, it's just really impressive how magical the bee is. Although it's small and oftentimes overlooked and not seen for that magic. And I just see that in your reading, that you may not necessarily understand or sense or respect the magic that's happening in the situation because you may be focusing on other things that aren't as magical. Oh my God, you got double letting go. Someone here actually may be afraid of letting go. You may be afraid of, if I let go, then like what happens next? And that's what's creating a delay, is because your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit, your intuition is, maybe not your intuition, but like your spirit and your body and your mind is subconsciously holding on to something and creating and responding to that fear. and making sure that you are not making sure that things don't change because you are not prepared. Not that it's not someone else, but you are not ready. You decide that you didn't want to release it. You're the one who's holding on. And that can be really tough to see. But we also have the Hangman card here that says it's really time for you to let go. It's really time for you to surrender. It's really time for you to take your hands off and trust fall. A lot of you guys, it's time to relax. It's time to Nine of Wands reverse. It's time for you to relax and find ease and make that your new normal instead of being tight and tightly wound and restricted and high maintenance. It's one thing to have like high standards and high expectations. It's another thing to be so impossible to please and not grateful and kind of bitter. Like, don't let that be you. Don't be that person who's hardened and so complicated that you're untouchable and you're not human anymore. Oh my God. The seagull, speaking of letting go. Now's the time for deep emotional healing. I love that. The boar. This is some of you. I can relate to this. I can really be this. The boar is tricky. It reminds me of New Orleans, the wild boars, when you're out in the swamps and people fear. You go out into the swamp and you're just like, okay, I'm afraid of poisonous snakes and I'm afraid of alligators. They're out there, but what you really need to look out for is the wild boar, because they would tear that ass up. And that's a real threat that people overlook. Some of you guys are the actual wild boar, where people know not to tread on you. People are afraid to tread on you. Or this may be how spirit sees you, where you're really intimidating. You're very bristled, hard-headed. And the reason why is because you're holding on to pain. You're holding on to an expectation of something bad going to happen. You're holding on to fear because you're not ready to let go. And it's really time for you to trust, relax, and let things flow. Let's look at love. Heart-to-heart conversations. This could be, with this card showing up, you may need to have a heart-to-heart conversation with yourself, with the divine, with your angels and your guides, with a partner. I see this more as you having a heart-to-heart conversation with yourself first and foremost. What do I want? Am I ready? What am I really afraid of? And can I face that fear? Because although the boar is stubborn, it says face your problems head on with confidence and courage and you will emerge victorious. But you may have some fears, some doubt, or some things that you just don't want to live through. Like, again, you know what I mean? That make you bristly and hard to help, hard to support, hard to bless, because this could be your angels and your guides trying so hard to bless you and help you, but you may be resistant, and some of you guys may not even be aware. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. And by that, sometimes taking control of your life means to let go and to release yourself. Like, see how the unicorn is kind of penned up? There's something here that you may be subconsciously choosing. And some of you guys may listen to this reading and be like, no, Jess, I'm clicking out. That's not me. That might be a part of the problem. Is the inability, the Hermit card, High Priestess, and the Hangman, the inability to see how you may be contributing to this pent up, stubborn resistance that is making itself known in your reading today. Moving forward, we have the next card is things are about to get really juicy. That is the truth. This will only happen when you decide to surrender and let go. This is when things really start to flow. Speaking of juicy, things start to just flow and work themselves out. And it'll be good. love in spite of it all. So this is like, again, like facing those fears and really challenging yourself. I'll read the back of the card for you. Oh my gosh, okay. Before this odyssey ever began, there was you, your best friends, and wide-eyed curiosity among you about who would be the first to leap, the first to forget, the first to kiss, the first to tell, the first to fall, the first to get up, and the first to remember that it all began with a dare to love in spite of it all. Is that you, Murgatroyd, the universe? P.S. I remember the glint in your eyes, all three of them. So this is saying that when you really connect with yourself, life is and love, and it is all about experience and risk, reward and failure, and getting back up and trying again. It's not about avoiding pain. It's not about avoiding fear. It's not about letting our doubts handicap us and hold us back. It's about the full experience, the good, the bad, the ugly. And for someone here, it's just really important, and it's really time for you to tap into the full experience instead of half experience, where you're only trying and only expecting the best out of the situation, or only expecting comfort, or only expecting ease. There's reward in facing some of those difficult moments. And I think for some of you guys, you're really holding on to fear, or really holding on to something because you're fearful of starting over. And this is where the real healing starts. Then the next card we have here is give yourself much more credit, and that speaks directly all by itself. I'm going to read the back of it to you. A stranger than strange ponderance to ponder. Those in great relationships aren't always those who are good at relationships, and those in challenging relationships aren't always those who are bad at relationships. Oh, see, wow, even though I use preponderance ineptly, this one is really good. Please ponder that. So there's this feeling of like, again, some of you guys may feel like you're being punished by the universe, or I have to be perfect in order to be loved. I need to do this. I need to do this. I'm trying to avoid this. There's just feeling this sense of control so that you can get the outcome that you desire. When in this case, in this situation, the best thing to do is to allow the universe to be the universe and have things pan out the way that they will, and just go along for the ride. Like, really lift your feet up and just be like, okay, I accept this. I'm uncomfortable. I'm afraid. I have doubt. I have fear, or I'm excited, or I don't know, or I hate this, but I'm here for it. And that is going to be the legacy of my life, is that I showed up, and I showed up in full. I loved in spite of it all. Okay? So I hope that really helps, my loves. I know that my readings sometimes go pretty deep. I hope that you are able to receive it in the way that it's meant to be received for you, with perfect divine timing. If you would like to have readings that support you throughout the month, Behati Love Notes is there for you. We shuffle every 2 days or 3 days, depending. And we just go deep with the cards. It's important that we take those times in between, because you guys know, like, my readings just are always soul food, you know? So it gives us time each to process. That's what I've heard from you guys as well. Well, mostly. And I'm here for it. So I'll leave the links down for Behati Love Notes. Subscription is kind of similar to a Patreon, but I've created it for myself and my platform, as well as a coupon code. Please, before you guys click out, give this video a thumbs up, because it shows me that you appreciated my channeling and my time that we're able to spend together. But also it talks to the YouTube algorithm and says, you know what, this girl has got something going on over here that is worth appreciating and shining a little light on. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Make sure that you are subscribed if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye. All right, my loves, if you chose the second message, this is your reading. All the cards that I'm working with will be linked down below. Oh my gosh, I just realized I didn't shuffle tarot for you. Let's use this deck. guys are probably like, what happened to your tarot deck? Life. Mostly life. One more. I'm seeing the number 6 for you guys. 100% the number 6. All right. So the first cards we have, wow, speaking of the number 6, we have the Lover's card. Interesting start. 10 of Pentacles. 2 of Cups. There is so much love lately. It's not even funny. This is giving marriage and seriousness too. The Knight of Cups reversed. 7 of Pentacles. And the 9 of Cups reversed. Very, very interesting. Oh, my door just cracked open. Speaking of doors cracking open, I feel like something is about to enter. Something is entering into your life, or something has entered into your life. If you guys hear any noise in the background, I am sitting at the window shuffling for you, and there's people who are been migrating back and forth. There's still a lot of hurricane repair going on here. Okay. I want to start off by saying that the Lover's card here, the number 6 too, is so interesting, is giving Venetian energy and connecting me to the spirit of Taurus, which we do have tomorrow. At the time of me filming this, we do have the full moon happening in the sign of Taurus. Taurus also, I can see it linking to the 10 of Pentacles within this reading, because the 10 of Pentacles has a lot to do with security and resources and investments that we value and prioritize, and things that we can give to others generationally that they will value and that they will prioritize. 2 of Cups is also here, the card of commitment and reciprocity. 7 of Pentacles is taking a step back, looking and assessing our lives. What is it that we need? What are we missing? Or are we good? 9 of Cups reversed is typically the card of sometimes being heartsick or down and out. This is a message here that for someone, and it's so interesting that love and romance is coming through so strongly, because the first message, not for you guys, but the previous message before I started shuffling for you guys, had a lot to do with marriage, commitment, and the future. Theirs was more serious minded. Yours, as intense as these cards can be or feel, there is a sense of like levity and joy and celebration, and like, I don't want to say partying, but like lightness and levity that I think the first pile was missing. Not in a bad way. I think that it just shows like the different mindset. This, I want to say that the energy radiating off of these cards right now is joyful. It's expressive. It's fun. It's lighthearted. I think this comes for someone who has been wanting love, working towards love in a love relationship, but they're about to enter into a season of celebration. The relationship is about to evolve. It's about to turn up in a way. What I mean by this is, this could be a crush where both parties express that they have mutual attraction towards each other, and they're going to take a shot at being exclusive and dating. And it's the fun date and the awkward date and the butterflies in the stomach. Although the Lover's card is a major card, I am getting butterflies energy here. Another example is if you've been dating for a while and you both decide that engagement and marriage is something that is truly in the cards for you, and you're planning it, but you're not serious about planning. Like, it's more fun. It's exciting. Families, especially 10 of Pentacles, are excited and celebratory, and you're focusing more on the party of it all, because that's how you are as a couple. You're not really thinking about, the long term. That's not to say that the marriage or the relationship isn't going to last, because you're enjoying putting things together. It just is giving fun. Like, it's giving laughter. It's giving, like, enjoying the process, enjoying what you have, enjoying what you found. I don't even want to try to force this reading to fit into anything other than love and relationships right now. I do see commitment. I do see bonds. I do see the leveling up of love. And although this reading is timeless, I can't ignore the fact that tomorrow again is the full moon in the sign of Taurus. And I just feel like this spirit of love is here. And I want to address the Nine of Cups reversed. And I also want to address the Knight of Cups reversed. Typically when we see these cards in tarot, if we're staying kind of basic, we can look at it and say, Nine of Cups reversed means, you know, that it's not exactly how we wanted it to be. Like, you get something that you've prayed for or you set intention for, or you've asked the universe for, but it's not how you've seen it. I don't see that this way at all. I intuitively see this as all of the feelings that you have been feeling, a culmination of all of the feelings, especially with Seven of Pentacles confirming this. They've come to a head and they're spilling over. It's not that anything needs to be tweaked. It's a sense of gratitude and pulling the strings of what holds your emotions together and allowing yourself to unravel in a way that is appropriate and appreciated and also safe for you to do so. And that's a beautiful place to be in, right? So yeah, I really love this. I really love this reading. I'm trying to see if I want to even try to push this reading into anything other than love and relationships. If I would see it as legacy, like heirlooms being passed from generation to generation. I see this as family coming together, celebratory support. I see this as enjoying a hardship or enjoying a development in your life that is rare, or it's not something that happens all the time, or it's like a one and done type of situation. This could be like buying a house and it's your forever home, it's your dream home, and it's your first home or second, you know, but it's like forever. There's something about it that is new and fresh, almost very similar energy to the first pile. Something very new and fresh and like not replaceable, cannot be replicated. If this has to do with work, this is a merger, like two big things coming together, and the amount of wealth that comes from that is huge. Huge. And this is the first time where, after years and years and years or months of negotiating and contracts, and like working long nights, long hours, this is like when those two CEOs from the top of this company, like, they get together and they celebrate at like Applebee's and they're popping bottles and celebrating the team. It's something that's like a once in a lifetime achievement, and your cup is pouring over and you're celebrating that. Those are the metaphors that I can think of with this. If this is not something that you're experiencing now, this is in the cards for you, and you need to hear it and you need to know, because it's going to encourage you to keep going and encourage you to see the finish line and see exactly where it is that you're headed, because some of you guys may need to have that reassurance, that affirmation, that love, marriage, commitment, merging of businesses and ideas is happening or will happen. It is in the cards for you. If this is a corporation, this may be someone who does it solo dolo, like they really have been doing this by themselves. If this is someone who has always put their work first, it's like you get one major achievement here within your work, and then if you've had to sacrifice love and relationships for the purpose of like achieving this goal within your work, then shortly after you find your person and you get married, and it's like you have the best of both worlds. There's like this level of like balance. I don't know if you guys can see it within the cards, but I can. There's this level of like balance within your life, especially when it comes to money, resources, finances, and love and relationships. Okay? So just know that it's going to pay off. It may not seem like it all the time, but Spirit wants to at least talk to you minimally about the season of celebration after these things kind of coming together. All right, let's look at your oracle. First card. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting this. We have suspicion and turmoil. This is when we are wrecked by our emotions and wrecked by our fear, our anxiety. It's interesting that showed up. Let me shuffle on this. Ace of Cups. So for some of you guys, it may be genuine fear of newness. Three of Wands. King of Wands. Maybe competition. At the bottom of your reading, you have Five of Cups. There may be turmoil or feeling like fear of losing what you work so hard for, what you work so hard towards. Like someone who has been grinding for so long, working towards a goal, and they are afraid that they're going to lose it, or they're not totally. Well, I don't want to say that you're not that you're not open, because you do have the Lover's card and you do have the Two of Cups. I don't know. You'd have to let me know what this feeling of suspicion and turmoil is for you. Next card we have is the Cat. Independence and healthy boundaries. Along with burden. Interesting. Along with the Serpent. Interesting. So there may be something here that you guys need to hear. In this deck, the Serpent represents, again, knowledge and healing, but I don't ever want to overlook the fact that the Serpent, the snake, can also represent conniving, sneaky, underhanded individuals that don't need to be in the vicinity, like in your vicinity. They don't need to be in your space. They don't need to have a seat on the board. They don't need to be talking to your man. You know, not to keep it like low vibrational, but like seriously, what if you are feeling a sense of, I don't love this person, or I don't love this energy, I would trust that. I don't think that it's enough to take down a whole organization or a whole relationship or a whole anything, but why let it have a seat at the table? What would that be for you? If I were you, I would shuffle and see where this sense of threat of loss is coming from. It's interesting, again, we have the Taurus full moon tomorrow. It's possible, okay, so you have the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. So this may be someone who is equally equipped, and they may have like jealousy, like they think they want what you have. But the full moon has a tendency to kind of blow things up and out so that you can see it. And maybe that's where this Knight of Cups energy reverse is coming from, and the Nine of Cups energy. Although I do see this as how Spirit is showing me is like pulling the strings of your emotions, what keeps your emotions together, and you unleashing that burden, like you feeling that burden, like you feel unrestricted to like express yourself. And I see this, when I say burden, I see the weight and the heaviness of emotions. Not that it's bringing you down. For most of you guys, I don't see this as bringing you down. I see it more as feeling all your feelings, good and bad, or difficult and fun. Let's keep going. I'm sure the rest of the cards will look. See, this is a Falcon, and this really talks about being keen, being able to see. You know what this is? This could be someone who feels like they're entitled to what you have or what you've worked towards, or what, you know what it's giving? Group project. You know, when you're in high school or college and you're assigned in a group, and then there's 5 people in the group, 3 people working hard, the 4th person works okay, and then you have 1 person who's just screwing around and not contributing, and that 1 person could bring the A+ of the group down to a C-. It's like being aware of the energy that's bringing the group down. It doesn't feel like something that you can control. It feels like it's something that you should be aware of, observe, and nip it in the bud as much as you can. Next card we have is Cardinal. And this card represents that the polarities of your spiritual pursuits and physical pleasures are out of balance. So do whatever is necessary to bring them back into equilibrium. This may be... I didn't want to say this because I am at this party with you. This party of like celebration and having fun. But maybe there are some loose ends and some things that you also need to be tying up. Your reading is very similar to pile number 1, like message number 1, in the fact that there's like an emphasis on relationships and marriage and things being serious. But the main difference here is the level of seriousness. You guys are more celebratory and they were more serious and more project involved, like to-do lists and getting oriented. I'm wondering if you could benefit from a little dose of their sober-minded, organized thinking. Yes, let's celebrate, but we also don't want to lose what we work so hard towards energy. Oh my gosh, the panda. Which is so funny because I see pandas, they're just so cute, right? But when you think of them, they're like in the trees, eating, and they're kind of clumsy. Like they're always I always see the panda like falling, tripping, rolling around, rolling off, not a cliff, but like rolling off the edge of something into the water. You know, they're just kind of clumsy. So there is this sense of celebration and joy, but also being careful. I also think that with the cardinal, when the cardinal shows up, to me, we have cardinals all over the house, the property now. So I can't relate to this, but up north, when the cardinal shows up, to me, it represents a symbol that winter is coming. And they're beautiful to look at, and in life and fall, the season of celebration and reaping the harvest. You're reaping the harvest and enjoying the harvest because you can, and you worked hard for it, but also knowing that the colder season is coming and you still need to be prepared for that. So it's not a threat to you. It just means like enjoy the harvest, enjoy family, enjoy what you have here, but also make sure that you're prepping for that you haven't lost sight, like you don't get lazy, that you don't get complacent, that you don't get too comfortable. I don't see this as you overly sharing with anyone. I see this as it's so interesting. I just got this vision of like someone who is like always buttoned up and always serious and working towards a goal, and then they're partying and then they drink too much, and then someone goes to their wallet, goes to their pocket, and then they get scammed. It's like, have reasonable fun, but don't overdo it, because tomorrow or the days to come, after we're done celebrating, we still have work that needs to be done to protect and to keep secure what we've worked so hard. Just don't don't allow yourself to slip too far is essentially what the message is. I hope that you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Let's look at the love cards. Codependency. Interesting. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. That's really interesting because they're talking a lot about balance. Even the panda is about balance with black and white. And Seven of Pentacles is the card of assessing and seeing. So someone here, when it comes to love relationships or whatever this message is that it applies to you, you still need to be able to be sober enough to see and to not slip down a rabbit hole, like slide into something that is a weakness of yours, nipping the potential for you to backslide, nipping that in the bud so that's not a threat to you or your wealth or your relationship. The next love card we have, release your ex. Okay. That may be quite literal for someone, but this also may be kind of what it was that I was saying, that I feel like there might be like a snake, something that has a seat at the table that may not necessarily deserve to be there. It's giving Game of Thrones when people are celebrating, but you think that you can trust someone, but they may not necessarily have your best interest at heart, and it could really threaten, it can really be a threat to you. I feel like someone needs to be cut loose. Finances and career. Yeah, interesting. Because I do see like tremendous wealth and resources and legacy. If this is something that is hereditary or something that is passed on from generation to generation, there could be fighting within the family on like who gets what. And like what is even, what is equal, who deserves what. But either way, there is this focus on protecting your assets. This street is really loud today. Okay. The next cards we have, convince yourself, not others. Interesting. So this is about you stepping into your power or knowing your power and knowing that you are empowered to ask people to leave if they are inappropriate, if you're not getting good energies or good vibes, or if you feel like they're a threat to your commitment, to your joy, to your happiness, to your wealth, to your security. Trust your instincts with that. We also have turn on your love light, which is interesting. It's not to say that you're dim or that your light is dim. It just also says that sometimes when you are glowing, people see that and may want what you have because they're attracted to the light that you give off. And just because they're attracted to it doesn't mean that they should have access to it. So I feel like there's this strong message here of just being really careful who and what has access to you, especially if you're letting your guard down while you're celebrating something that you truthfully do deserve. Again, this reading is timeless, but we are doing it at the time of the full moon in Taurus. And full moons tend to reveal. They have a tendency to really shine a light on something that was hidden. And Taurus represents the things that we value, that we don't want to lose. We want to hold on to them because they're worth holding on to. It could be resources, it could be marriage, it could be food, it could be a Cozy Earth pillowcase. This video is sponsored by Cozy Earth. Seriously though, but it could be anything that you really cherish and that's worth holding on to, it's worth being committed to. But don't allow yourself, there's this message here, this looming little message of like not allowing yourself to be the little panda who falls out the tree and kind of backslides into something that could have been avoided if they were a little bit more sober-minded. At the same time, enjoy yourself. Don't be hyper-vigilant where you're just like, enemy. Just be aware. Be aware, be sound. And if it helps, I do see this as a masculine person. You have King of Wands and the King of Pentacles showing up. So this is someone who probably wants what you have, wants to work with you, but they may not have the same goals, intentions, and ambition as you do, or work ethic as you do, or work morals as you do. They may be someone who wants to take your position. They may be someone who feels like you don't deserve where you're at. The audacity. So even with this codependency card, it's you just being like, I actually don't need your help. We've got it. We're celebrating. And then tomorrow we're back. Tomorrow we're back. We've got things to talk about. This is worth protecting. Okay? If this is family, one last message. If this is family, you got to be careful, because these people have, or this person has good intentions, but they may feel like they're more informed, and they may overstep their boundaries in a place where you should be in charge and not necessarily taking their advice, because this is your thing. So whatever that means for you. All right, my loves, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm sending you all the blessings of this full moon. The apothecary is closed while I'm on maternity. The cards that I've shuffled with will be linked down below. And if you want more exclusive readings like this, more private readings, so to speak, for a small collective, Behati Love Notes is there for you. I'll link it down below, as well as a coupon code, so you can sign up for that. Until then, please give this video a thumbs up, because it shows me that you appreciate my work and my effort, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Okay, my loves, if you chose the first message, this is your reading. All of the cards that I'm shuffling with will be linked down below. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the tarot cards that I've pulled for you. First one we have is the Four of Wands. We're off to a good start. Three of Pentacles, and the Justice card reversed. The first thing that I heard intuitively was this, a sentence. It says, high hopes. Now that I'm looking at that and sitting with that a little bit further, it connects me to the Three of Pentacles. So Spirit wants to start off with the Three of Pentacles, and the energy of like expectancy and building and collaborating together, working together, having high hopes for something that you're working with or working towards. It's possible that this could be something involving work or your foundation or your security. For some of you guys, you may be getting some good news when it comes to job offers, when it comes to an interview or something that you were working towards, studying towards, building towards. When it comes when I sit with myself and sit with these energies, I think about the future. I think about the long haul. I think about someone who is serious about their investments, committed. I heard the word restricted, so this might have been something that in the past you felt a restriction with. Like, let's say this has a lot to do with love and relationships. Let's say there was something that was really stopping you, or stopping you from being able to see progress within relationships, dating, or whatever the case is. There was like a restriction, like a vice that was kind of sucking the life out of it and stamping it. But I also like stamping it to end, or stamping it to not be able to move forward. It's almost giving like the energy of like red tape when you're working with an organization, and it's just one obstacle after another obstacle after another obstacle. I don't see that anymore. It's giving Saturn return. It's giving Saturn lessons. It's giving like self-mastery. It's giving you not giving up. This is someone who you have a goal in mind, or you want something, you're working towards something, and even if it's not happening, like you're not seeing progress, you're still studying towards it. You're still showing up. You still I don't want to say like you would lose hope. It's normal sometimes as human beings to kind of lose hope when we don't see the direction of where something is going. But it's like you didn't allow something barren. You didn't allow barren energy to dampen your spirit and to stop you from progressing forward. If this is not something that you can relate to already, it's something that you're walking into, a season that you're walking into of seriousness and commitment. For someone here, it's, I don't know why, but I'm getting the spirit of like corporation and following rules, or the rules being placed on you. It could be your, it's almost giving, I don't say like taxes, but you know, like when you are doing your taxes and there's certain rules that you have to follow, and it's in your best interest to kind of hire someone. It's like things that you have to do and you take seriously, and you're getting those things in order, or you've consistently gotten those things in order. It's really interesting. And the reason why Spirit, I think, is showing these metaphors is probably because this is something that you've been working on lately, and they're acknowledging it, they see it, or you're going to be working on it. But either way, the energy of seriousness and maturity is all over this reading. My eyes are next drawn to the Justice card reversed. And sometimes with the Justice card reversed, it's talking about fairness, equality, and balance in the way of like give and take, getting what is due to you, giving what is owed. And however, in this reading, I see this more as you rectifying and fixing things that are broken, things that were left on the wayside. Like if you, let's say you went through a little bout of depression, because that's something else too that I could see here. Let's say you went through a little bout of depression, or you were under the weather for some time, and things that you're responsible for example, cleaning your apartment or showing up at work, those are finishing a project. Those are things that you weren't able to do or take care of because you were sick. Your energy was low. You just couldn't show up in the same way. It's not that it was unfair. It just wasn't able to be taken care of in that time. This is when you step back into the game, you roll your sleeves up, and you start organizing things and putting things back into place. Like it's almost like you're re-emerging with a sound, solid new head on your shoulders. When it comes to love and relationships, because this is the next thing that's standing out to me, and I feel it's really strong in my spirit. This is someone who went from like dating or approaching a relationship that they're in with not really healthy boundaries and kind of letting people do whatever. It's not that you didn't have like standards. It's not that you didn't have standards for yourself or high standards for yourself. I think you were learning. And through that learning process, there's like relationships and stuff that work out, things that pan out, things that are progressive, things that move you forward in a good way, in a healthy way. And then there's things that you learn that you're just like, this is not conducive to anything besides frustration and headache. I see you kind of closing out that chapter and moving forward officially. And if that's the case, you're dating, like the dating scene for you and your outcome of your dating is going to change. It's going to shift for things that are constructive, things that have longevity. I also want to say that if you were someone who was afraid of commitment, maybe craving commitment, wanting lasting love and a long-term relationship, you may have had fear facing those commitments. And this is something that you've grown through it, you've learned through it, and you have now the ability to take care of it and the ability to accept it. And I know that for some of you guys, you'll be like, well, this is what I've always wanted. I've always wanted to be married. I've always wanted to have a serious partner. I've always wanted someone who has a good head on their shoulders. But sometimes when you are confronted with someone who has those things or has those attributes and is capable, you don't necessarily choose it. This is where you choose it. I also want to say, last message here, before we start flipping over the oracle. I also want to say that sometimes it's giving a lot of Saturn energy, like lessons that you learn, and like red tape, like a lot of like things growing slowly, progressively, lessons, karma. That can be heavy. I don't get the spirit of heaviness here. Like, as mature as you have evolved into, like as serious as you are, I don't see this being like stuffy. I don't see this being heavy. I just see you being like about your business and I don't want to say focused, but dialed in, like completely dialed in. With the Four of Wands in the center of the reading, this does talk about having fun. It talks about joy, family, coming together, marriage, engagement. And when I'm looking at these cards, I see this more not as celebration or celebratory, but more like working to, like being committed to your future and feeling a sense of like contentment and peace and comfort that you found, that you've settled. Not like settled in a bad way, but like you found something worth settling for, settling into, like a nest. If this is not energy that you're feeling now, this is where you're headed. And I get the strong message that Spirit is leading you into real love, like real security within your job, real peace within yourself, patterns, rituals, routines that keep you like on top of things, organized, in control. This doesn't bring any sense of chaos at all, by a little bit. But think about like if you're like a new college student and you're like raging and partying. This is someone who has long graduated from college, still like has a more serious job, right? And nails a job that is their dream job, and they are serious about it. They're organized. They change their wardrobe to reflect this new responsibility that they've manifested, that they've been working towards this entire time. This can happen at any point in your life. You could be a kindergartner, just so serious about starting the first day of school on the right foot. You could be a college student and every one of your friends are partying, and you just are not. You have an internship and you're serious about it. This could be someone who has graduated college and they were partying with a job, that was paying their bills with their roommates or whatever, and all of a sudden they just find someone that they really click with, that they really love, and they are just like, I'm gonna get engaged. Like, this is my person. And the thing is like, there's a spirit, there's a sense of longevity, and there's a sense of like your work paid off, or is about to pay off, or is paying off. So that's what's coming up here. I do want to say too, like, this isn't something that can be forced. It's just a natural sense of like, again, like you're in a nest, like you found something worth nesting into, and you're comfortable, and you're just building that. Let's look at your oracle. Oh, wow. The first oracle card for you is Okra, the energy of fortitude and confidence. And I love this for you, again, because I do feel like with this spirit of like nesting that I'm seeing, or nesting into something, it's like, that this is the place that you belong. And it gives you, it's a feeling like a sense of confidence, like a sense of like, yeah, like this is my home. Like, this is where I'm good at this, or I can, if I'm not good at this, I'm willing to learn. I'm able to learn. Oh, wow. Next card you have is love. So this may have a lot to do with commitment and marriage, like being really serious about a relationship and the direction of a relationship. The next card, wow. We have the frog, cleaning house and releasing emotional baggage. So this right here, cleaning house, to me, again, is taking care of these duties, these little sense of obligation that feels worth it to you. This is like if you built a little nest and you've been working on building this nest and you start picking out, you're doing the final stages where you're picking out the fuzz and picking out the feathers and picking and like kind of critiquing it so that your home matches like your vision, and it's worth it because you're going to be sharing it with someone that is worth it. I also think that with the releasing emotional baggage, this is a reflection of the work that you've done within yourself to get rid of things that don't serve you anymore. And that too is a sign of maturity. I'm also getting the spirit of like forgiveness. For some of you guys, instead of holding on to grudges, you have let those grudges go. Like you've come to terms with them and you come to peace with it. And you realize you can't change the past. You can't change what happened. You can't change the person, but you're not going to let it keep you in a place where you're stuck and you're stagnant and poisoned by your own anger. You've felt those feelings, you've expressed those feelings, and you've come to peace and come to terms with it. And that's the sense of like nesting that it is that I'm feeling, of contentment, that you're just like, you know what, I'm okay now, or I've let it go, or I'm better because of what happened, or I will be better because of what happened. Okay, the next card we have here, wow. Dog, loyalty, sincerity, and unconditional love. I love this because, again, this is another sign of exactly what I think is worth settling into that I'm seeing for you guys. It's worth building. It's worth marrying. It's worth being engaged to. A lot of you guys may really be finding marriage, Four of Wands, engagement, a serious partner, especially after seasons of not having that and being potentially but really frustrated by what you've been experiencing. You may have been hung up on someone of the past that just doesn't have it in them to get it together. They could be 50 years old and they still act like little boys. Or a 50-year-old woman who acts like a child, like a baby. This is someone who is like they're just mature. Like they're someone that you can count on. They're loyal. They're sincere. These are the words that are coming through. Four of Wands is the card of marriage. Three of Pentacles is the card of we found something that's worth working towards. I think that with the Justice card here, it's more so this spirit of rectifying things, making things become better, like working towards like that, maybe like fixing the situation, or spirit fixing the situation so that it can grow it and like foster growth, like in longevity. This is not I want to say for someone here, this is not someone or something of the past. It's giving fresh start. It's giving like new energy. If this is someone that you know, this person has gone through a major transition, like a major awakening, a major come to Jesus moment, like a huge judgment, like get clocked on the head, and they are a way better person than they ever were. If not, like, and you'll know, like, this is a complete breaking of past toxic patterns. I don't see this being everyone's situation. I would see this as like 2% of those of you guys that are listening right now. Most of you guys, this is going to be new energy, fresh opportunity, but from you, it's something that you've wanted, and it's finally like showcasing itself. Next card we have is the Gorilla. Take time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially your family members. That's something that I love about this, is I just feel like you are heard. I also think with the Silverback Gorilla, this always represents someone who has a lot of power and leadership, and like they're able to protect. if you think about people who like say like, oh yeah, like I can protect my family, but then at the end of the day, they spend so much time goofing off that they're not aware of their family. They're not aware of their family's needs. They're not aware of their partner's needs because they're so distracted or so out of their minds or so immature that they can't even tap in to fulfill a promise, to fulfill their duty. They're not mature enough. With the silverback showing up, even though this says gorilla, but I see this as a silverback, there's a level of maturity and strength and awareness that comes with this person or comes with a season in your life that you can't fake it. You either have it or you are it or you're not. Polar bear, we have stand up for yourself and speak your truth respectfully and compassionately with no attachment to the outcome. The polar bear too is a symbol of strength. These two animals are huge, intimidatingly huge, but they're also very gentle and they're also protective and they're also like family oriented. And I see this as great strength, great power and conviction, but also I see this as home. Like I do see this as not comfort, but like cozy comfortability, if that's a word. Okay, wow. I forgot that I pulled the romance angels, so I'll be really interested to see what comes through for you with this because it really is giving love and marriage or commitment or dating turning serious or nailing an internship turning into a dream job. Wow, this could be the one. Yep. Passion. True love. Wow, I can't even believe it. I mean, I can, but like, it just is like literally, I mean, these cards speak for themselves. This is exactly what it is that I'm sensing. I just feel like it's so serious, like it's so real. It's giving true. It's giving like what people wait for, what people look for. Okay, and the last few cards we have here, start where you are. And again, I think this is so interesting and telling because I don't see this as past connections. I see this as starting over where you are. Three of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, and the Justice card. Justice card reversed. I see this as not repeating of the past, giving yourself a chance to start where you are and take what you have, work with what you have, and build from that space. What really makes the difference here is your mindset, your maturity, and your seriousness. From there, everything seems to kind of snowball. It's almost like if you decided, let's say if this is an example of internship, you were someone who was going to work every day in your sweatpants because you didn't really care, which I don't see that being you, but you end up you're starting to dress for the job because you're serious about yourself now and you want this position, you want to prove yourself. I don't think that example is the best one because I do get the strong sense that this is something that you've been deliberate with and intentional with for quite some time and you're starting to see the payoff. But the point of what I'm trying to say is it's like wherever you are right now, begin there with what you have because you are fully equipped as you are to settle into what you've been wanting and what you're ready for. I go where you go. So this has a lot to do with that loyalty, that sense of commitment that we saw with the dog card showing up here, and sincerity and unconditional love. There's this sense of like I'm always by your side. Like it's, you don't just be yourself and I'll be there, or you worked hard for this, or you've grown up, you've matured and you're ready for this. So it's not going anywhere now. Forgive. That's so interesting. That did come up earlier on in the reading. Exactly. There's this level of like maturity that comes from not needing to go back to the past and try to change it, not needing to repeat so that you can experience the lesson and try to heal from it. That's something that subconsciously we do. We choose these past patterns not realizing it sometimes because we're trying to fix what is broken within us. There's a sense of maturity and spiritual maturity and growth that happens when you genuinely, and you can't fake the funk with this, when you genuinely forgive the past, or when you release the past and accept it for what it is. It makes it so that you can move forward. It makes it so that it doesn't haunt you so much. So you're not living in the past, you're living in the present and then building towards the future. That's what it is that I'm seeing here. It's something that you've clicked into, that you've mentally, emotionally, spiritually have clicked into, that has opened the door to make it possible for you to move forward. And from that place, it is a fresh start with the knowledge and the experience and the opportunities and the potential that you have within you right now. So, my loves, that is your reading. Again, this was for the full moon in Taurus. Full moons, well, it's at the time of the full moon. Well, the full moon's tomorrow, but yeah, I think full moons are oftentimes about releasing things, kind of coming to a culmination, things coming to a head, things popping off. And for you, I think it's a sense of seriousness and commitment and love and luxury. Like, luxury meaning like you're going to need for nothing. Like, you're going to have everything that you need to feel comfortable, comforted, supported. And it's going to be reciprocated. 100%. You guys will have to let me know if there's someone on your radar. Taurus is also an energy that appreciates love, but it won't compromise itself for love in the same way that its sister sign Libra will, you know? It has a high standard. It doesn't like flux. I don't know if that's an American word. It doesn't like waver. It knows exactly what it is that it wants, and it won't settle. It's very stubborn in what it is that it wants. And for that reason, it gets what it desires and what it deserves. And if not, then it's okay being without it. So, but for you guys, I do see a sense of achievement, growth, maturity that is impressive, and you deserve it. All right, my loves, I'm going to move on to the second message. Thank you so much for hanging out. Please give this video a thumbs up. It helps my YouTube channel a lot and shows me that you appreciate my effort and my channelings. Until then, I'll see you guys in my next one. Happy full moon. Bye.